This is, I believe, episode 8. It's crazy, man. And every podcast I'm learning new stuff, and that's just what it's all about. I'm just doing my thing and trying out different things, right? So I technically, I guess, now have 2 studios and trying out the solo studio. I think this will be the solo studio, and I'm pretty down with that. This is a very secure setup. I'm like locked in. I got real good camera view, and I can just see everything going on. I got the full control panel here. Pretty stoked. So 2 studios. Who is blessed enough to say that? And decide to upgrade the mic situation up here, easily movable. So got the mic up here, got the boom arm, got my have my camera, and I'm looking at you. How you doing? The last video podcast, the first and the last video podcast I did, seemed to seem people like that one the most so far, and I think that's the universe telling me that I need to add video onto these when possible. So I'm okay with that. I think that's going to be good. I have the video going, and it's going to be good. I'm excited. This looks pretty good. I think I feel pretty good. Feeling nice and ripping the podcast right now. We had last podcast I did. I had my wife, Jen. She openly accepted the invite to do the podcast spontaneously, and I wasn't expecting that. Super nice of her. She was all in. She's like, yeah, I'll do it right now. Let's go. Fuck it. We'll do it live. And she did it. We did the podcast for like over 30 minutes, and God bless that lady, man. She I don't know if she wanted to do it, but I think she did it to make me happy, and maybe she liked it. Maybe she had a good time. We re-listened to the podcast before bed, and it was pretty cute. And that's a memory we can listen back on, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And it was a good time. Had fun with her, and I just can't believe like I've been doing podcasts like every day for the past like few days now, and I can't get enough of it. I don't know why. It's just so fun. I missed just doing content. I missed like filming stuff, and I missed like posting things. And even though things are just chill and quiet, nobody's really watching, it's just gives me like an internal kind of satisfaction that I think I've been kind of missing out on the past like 10 years or so. Like when I was a young lad, teenager, I'd film, my friends and I would film all the time, and now it's kind of like one of these things where I just felt this internal need. Something was missing, so this is feeling real good. I'm happy. I'm starting to feel happy. And if you're not feeling happy, if you feel like you need to do something and you just need to, like, you don't know what that is, just try out a different thing every day until you find out what you like doing, and just try it even though there's no hope. If you don't feel like there's any hope, just remember there is hope, and you can just keep going and do that thing until it'll eventually pay off. And I don't even know if I'm looking for a payoff. I think that just doing this is just making me happy. And I'm posting again on my old school YouTube account, and it's like bringing back memories. And the audio podcasts are fun and all, but I think adding this video into the mix is going to change my game. And we're only on episode 7, and I'm like constantly upgrading, and this is a major upgrade. So good on us. Good on everybody. Thanks, everyone. Whoever's paying attention, whoever's watching. And yeah, things are just moving along. All I can think of is podcasting right now. Like I'm doing my job, a real job, working, and then I'll finish my work, and then I'm just like thinking about the podcast. So here we are, episode 8, I believe. I think episode 7 was with Jen, so it's great stuff. This setup is nice. I feel like I literally have like a control station here. I have like 3 monitors here, and my computer's set up, and I can just literally go for it. So that's pretty sick, man. Like, who would have thought? It's that easy. It's literally that easy to do. Anybody can do it. And if you want to just speak your mind, just do it. Get one of these little mics, get your phone and start filming, and it's really not that hard, and it's fun. So fun stuff. And what's on the agenda? So it's Tuesday. Tuesday is a pretty brutal day of the week. It's not quite the weekend, it's not quite the start of the week, but technically is, because Monday you're feeling fresh from the weekend, and you had a break. Tuesday you're like, God damn, I got like 4 more days to go until we're at the weekend again. And it would be fun one day in life where you don't really have to like look forward to those weekends. If like every day could feel like a weekend, would be ideal, right? I think everybody kind of wants that. And how many people really do get that? How many people do get to go through every day in life where it feels like a weekend? And I think that just leads to doing what you love, and whatever that might be. Maybe you love taking care of animals. Maybe you love doing art, and you've somehow made that to your job. I think that's life, right? That's like the key of life. So who knows? I don't know what that is for me. I don't know. You can work all you want, and you make money, and that's good because you need money, because money gives you power to do whatever you want. But I think if you can truly find something that you enjoy doing and turn it into your job, is it really a job? Or are you just playing like your whole life? I don't know, but some people, I think that's the expectation. I think some people are like, yeah, I want to do that. And they don't understand that there is work that has to get put into it, and work, it's not play. Like, it's work. Like, it's not going to be fun. So I think every aspect of every job requires work, whether it's doing what you love or not. So I think that some people don't realize that, and when they bring doing what they love into their life and turn it into a job, hopefully they can continue to love it instead of just turning it into a job, and then you're counting days until the weekend again, until you don't need to do that. So who has done that? I think any professional in any sport, any professional in any like entertainment. But yeah, like, I think there's a lot of things, and maybe even taking care of people probably love doing that, but to an extent. But I think the arts and sports and things like that, those are the true things that people love doing. So good for you if you've figured that one out. I think you've solved the mystery of life. Well, not the mystery of life, but the meaning of life in your world. Everybody's got a different meaning in their life, and some people don't have any meaning. And I don't know if I have proper meaning yet, but we're still in like, hopefully like, I don't know, we're like probably in the second quarter of life right now. I think maybe we've definitely passed Q1 of life. So I'm in like Q2 of life right now, and we only got like 3 Qs to go. So that's pretty scary to think about. And if you think about it, you've gone through, let's say 100 years. Let's be generous, say 100 years. You're 25 years old, and 1 Q of life right there, right? So what have you done? What have you done in those 25 years? Do you think you could have done more? Do you think you made the most of it? Have you wasted too much time? There's all these questions you can ask yourself, or you can bury your head in the sand and just not even think about it, right? You can just not even think about it and just keep going on. Next thing you know, you're in Q3. You're 55 years old, you're 51, and you might feel like you haven't done enough in life. So my goal for Q2 of life is to probably just stop procrastinating on these things that I want to do and just do it. And every time I do it, I want to do it better and make sure that I'm optimizing my performance to its full capacity and making sure that I'm make sure I'm on it and I'm just giving it my all. So there's like so many motivational people out there, So I guess like for me, well, of course, like the motivational people, like I got a list here, and um, the first person I can think of is, you know, in life, right? Like my dad. He's a very inspirational guy to me, and my mom, both my parents. They had me at a really young age, and they had their jobs and just their young parents. Like they had me in their, I think, early 20s. I think my mom had me when she was like 20 years old. My dad was probably 22 years old, and I can't even imagine doing that. And they hadn't really figured out. I don't think they figured out what they were really doing yet. And then as the years go on, my dad was working, just doing his normal job, and then he decided to start a business, and he grew that business to something of worth and made a way better life for himself and his family. So that's like my first person that I think of for inspiration. And and then as that's embedded in you. It's like a subconscious. Now it used to be subconscious inspiration. Now, as I'm in Q2 of life, it's a conscious inspiration. And then when I was younger, growing up, like I think my first motivational person was Bam Margera from Jackass. Kind of a weird inspiration, motivation, kind of like a weird thing. But for some reason, that guy, like he was a young kid, and I think it's just I'm a big fan of these like rags to riches type people. So I think they grew up in a small town. They grew up as like low to middle class family. This kid starts skateboarding, and then he grows up and becomes one of the top skateboarders in that era, and then grew into something huge. Started his own kind of. I think he was one of the original people, original YouTube kind of style people. They were doing these funny videos, prank videos, and then built his way up to being in multi-million-dollar movies. And then the guy had his own. He even had, I think, he was one of the original podcasters. Actually, he was on Sirius XM doing group like radio shows with his friends, and that was a big motivation to me. And that was another reason why I like radio and podcasts now. But back then it was more like radio and satellite radio and stuff like that. And then once, so that's kind of like for Bam Margera, that's kind of like where it stopped for me, because the guy, obviously, if you look him up now, he's a bit of a mess, but whatever. I think he might be recovering now, but I think that is a little bit over. I'm kind of like, all right, yeah, he had his good run and then he fell apart. But the next guy is then I fell in love. Like fell in love with Howard Stern. Howard Stern was a guy, similar situation, rags to riches, like built his way up from the bottom up, and just another radio guy. And that, if you know his story, he started on radio, just regular, I think, FM radio. I don't know, I can't remember how you say it. Anyway, he was on radio that you listen to in your car, wherever. I think in New York. There's probably other places where he started, built his way up. I think he was all over the place. He did all these different radio stations, and he'd get fired and keep moving up, and then eventually the guy, Sirius Radio, and took over. And again, I just kind of just people change, and I just slowly turned to another person. His way of thinking very like liberal speaking, and then and then I discovered, obviously, who hasn't, but people that are interested in this type of stuff, like Joe Rogan. There's Joe Rogan, and then I kind of switched from Howard Stern to Joe Rogan, who kind of taught me how to think more outside of the box, and like, you don't have to follow all the rules. You can kind of do things differently in your way. So and then he taught me, like, I can do, so Howard Stern, he taught me how to kind of be more proper, and then Joe Rogan taught me how to be a little more tough, so, and healthy, and like different styles of health and stuff like that. So two different types of guys. And then and then I have a big list of people that have motivated me, and these are all kind of like, if I look at this list, kind of like more like right-wing people, like believe it or not, even Andrew Tate, like that guy, he's a bit crazy. A lot of people hate him, but just, that's another rags to riches. He just started from the bottom, and then he built himself up to what seems like I think he's a billionaire. I think that's what he said. I think that guy's a billionaire. So that guy's pretty crazy. Some of the stuff he says is a little crazy, but I think somebody like that is just like wild. Is pretty motivational guy and whatever. And then in some ways, it's crazy, but even like Donald Trump inspires me. I don't, you can't, I'm a Canadian, and stuff is a little bit wild right now, but that guy is insane. Like, there's some montages of Donald Trump, right? It's all these newscasters saying, like, making fun of him for, this is when he first ran for president, like making fun of him for running for president. And then he basically, like, all like 20 newscasters saying, like, he's never going to be president. Like, there's no way, 100% chance he will never become president. And then, at the end of the clip, it's him getting inaugurated to be the president. And that's just crazy. It's all odds were supposedly against him. I guess, I don't know if all odds were against him, but everybody is saying, like, everybody was against him. All these people in the media were against him, and then sure enough, he did it. And that alone is really cool. That gives me inspiration to be just to fight all odds, right? And another person kind of like that is, of course, Elon Musk. He's an inspiration. I think he's owned several companies, and running one company is hard enough, but this guy is running like 4 or 5 like different, very complicated companies. And he started from nothing and built himself up to be something very important in the world. Some people might disagree, but come on, man, you're not doing what he's doing, and it's pretty amazing. I think he is doing good stuff for the world, I guess. Like, he's changing the world. He will be in the history books, so that gives me the inspiration. And then just like quickly, like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, like you can throw those guys all in one, same type of deal. And then there's like some sports people, even like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's a pretty inspirational guy if you wanted to look him up, if you've heard of him. He's a basketball player, played for LA Lakers, I believe, for all his career, or a majority of it. I don't know, but I just learned about this guy. He's pretty crazy. He's passed on, died in a helicopter crash with his daughter, I think in 2020. Super sad, did not deserve it, and he's gone, but has hours and hours of content if you want to check out Kobe Bryant. So he was a guy that was pretty inspirational. A couple bodybuilders, Sam Sulek. He's a young guy. He's new bodybuilder on the scene. Probably one of the top like influencers in that niche. He's a YouTuber. He's a professional bodybuilder now, I believe. He's going to compete. Young guy. If you listen to what he says, he's pretty motivational. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he is. That guy is pretty crazy. And yeah, the list just that's the end of my list for now. If I thought about it more, there's probably more, but these are all men that kind of give me that fire, and just like, yeah, I don't know if that's bad. I don't know if that's bad to have like to take that much motivation from people and to have that big of a list of men that motivate you. So I might have to think about that. I might have to talk to a therapist about that if that's okay. Maybe I need to slim that list down. But in my life, Q1 of my life at least, coming into Q2 or beginning of Q2, that's pretty crazy how, like, I was just thinking about it, about all the people that give me the inspiration. And then I realized they're all guys. And I had to think, like, are there any women? And I don't know. I actually didn't think about that until now, and I might need to revisit that and see if there are any women that are on that list of motivation. I'm trying to think right now, but I don't want to think. I'd like to spend some time and think about that, because that list that I just said, I actually spent some time on that list. I had to think, because believe it or not, I don't know these guys, but except for my dad, but the other guys, like, I don't know them and they don't know me. I've just listened to their words pretty much and watched what they've done and learned what they've done, and I think that's pretty cool. So good job, guys. Good job. Bam Margera, good job. Howard Stern, Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate, good job, Dad. Good job, Trump. Good job, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Kobe Bryant, Sam Sulek, and Arnold. Good job, guys. You, if you were ever worried about inspiring anyone, you don't have to worry, because I'm one of those guys. And for some reason, that inspired me, whatever you've done. So these gentlemen have probably done, they've all done different things, and I guess the world just needs people to do different things, and that's what people are doing. So I think I'll have to think of a list for the women. I don't know. I guess I haven't really. Oh, you know what? One woman that is probably an inspiration for me is Lisa Vanderpump from Vanderpump Rules and Housewives of Beverly Hills Housewives, I believe. Lisa Vanderpump, she restaurant owner. She's had her own TV show, all this stuff, and she's an inspiration to me. I said I wasn't going to do this, but just thinking off the top of my head, for some reason I keep thinking like Hillary Clinton, but I don't know enough about her to say anything. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to give that some time and think about the women. Obviously my mom, but and my wife, those two are inspiration to me. But I'll think about it. Maybe next time I can talk about the women. But I'm just talking about dudes. I'm just a dude being a dude, and call it what you want. But if that's what you would call to be a little non-hetero, then so be it. But if you think that I have some sort of internal issue, let me know. But I think it's normally healthy to probably have some role models or motivational figures. So yeah, I mean, like, one day I'd probably like to try and fly a plane. I don't know if I would actually want to do that. I think there's a lot of pressure. I've driven some heavy machinery in my life, and driven Zambonis, and I've driven some larger trucks, and I've driven a couple trailers, but the biggest one for me is a Zamboni I've driven, and that's a hard thing to do, driving a Zamboni and doing the ice. It's I don't know. I don't know what got me to start saying this, but the Zamboni is that's a high pressure situation if you don't know what you're doing, let me tell you. Let's just say you got 15 minutes in between ice times. You got teams waiting. So you got a team playing a hockey game, and then in between the hockey game there's 15 minutes, right? And then after the 15 minutes, there's another hockey game. And in that 15 minutes, your job is to basically Zamboni that ice. And sounds all fun and games, but when you actually have to start Zamboni in that ice, and it's a little difficult. You're like really having to push it. You're like, oh my god, how do I make this ice? How do I make ice? So that's something you have to think about. It takes many, many times to get it. I would practice at night, but I think with anything, the learning is within the doing, and you just have to do it to be able to learn it. You can't just like sit there and read a book. You just have to do it. And I think that's how I'm thinking about this podcast, right? Like I'm just doing it, and I just made a list and I ranted on about guys that I took motivation from. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad, but that's just an idea I had, and I just wanted to say it. So I let you know who inspires me in life, and yep, I think that's just fine. I think that'll be okay. And the thing about trying things out is you're probably gonna fail, and you're probably gonna fail many times. And I've failed many, many times in my little company attempts. I've tried to sell products. I've tried YouTube videos that have not gone so well. I've failed tests that I've tried really hard for. Things that I've put serious effort into have failed. And I've been injured. I've been working out hard at some points, and I've been like getting the most strong and the most best physique I've ever had in my life, and then all of a sudden I'll have an injury, and I'll consider that a failure. And there's just so many things, but I think the key of that all is just to never give up and to keep pushing through it. Whatever happens, you just have to keep going and get through that shit, man. And I don't know if I'm in a position to be telling people about that, but I think it needs to be said. If you haven't heard it before, which you probably have, are you doing enough? Are you pushing yourself? I think that's what you have to think about. And in my life, I don't think I've been pushing myself enough. I've pushed myself. I'm a hard worker at some points, but I think it's consistency. If you give 100% in something one day out of the year, that's great. But if you give not you don't even have to give 100%. If you give like 60% like every day or a majority of days in the year, you're going to see better results. So I think consistency is a key, whether you fail or succeed. So let's keep on trying. I think trying is the big thing here, and we just have to not stop because I think for me at least, I will fail in something and then I'll just kind of throw it away. I'll just forget about it and just never return. But I'm sure this podcast is going to be tough for me to stay consistent, but I need to do it, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to find people to do the podcast, I hope, and hopefully people will have fun with me and not take me too seriously, but take me seriously enough where it's like, hey, I wanted to do this. And I feel like so far I've had a couple guests already, and I'm on episode 8, I believe. So I'm feeling happy and I'm feeling fulfilled. And it's gonna be a rough emotional road for me because it's like I know this is gonna get 20 views, and I'm gonna be like, oh man, this I because I'm comparing myself to these guys that are they're already in it, but I need to remember there's a point in their lives where they were just starting out and they didn't really give up. So I think that's what I need to do, just not give up. And I hope you don't give up either in what you do. So whatever that might be. And yeah, let's do it together. Everybody, let's not give up together. Keep on pushing. Okay. Bye, guys.